What's going on, my dudes? Gonna work back on the Subaru again. Start taking this engine apart. We're gonna split the crankcase. Gotta remove all these. Oh, that bearing does not sound good. Here, listen to that. Your bearings shouldn't sound like that. They should sound like this. Extremely quiet. So we're going to start by removing the front stuff, and then we can get to splitting the crankcase itself. There is stuff on the front you do have to remove. Basically, any bolt you see on the front, remove it. I don't think you have to remove these pulleys. Actually, this one you might have to. This one I don't think you do. But again, I'm not sure. We'll find out. We're going to take the thing apart and see what happens. But first, we're going to go inside, and I'm going to show you some stuff we got for the Subaru. It's pretty lit, so let's just zoom all up in there. Zoom, we did. Okay, so this is some of the stuff. And got a blast, we're already here. So this is some of the stuff we are going to be looking at. First things first is, this wideband O2 sensor. Bearings for the clutch that we got. 340 liters per hour fuel pump. Check this thing out. I'm shocked it's made out of metal. It's a Chemso fuel system. Looks pretty cool. So as long as it looks good, it's gonna run good, right? That's the Ricer way. Let's put this back in here. Anyways, next we have some crankshaft bearings that's going to go in when I rebuild the engine. These are apparently performance bearings. They're pretty cheap. They're like $90. So, and the stage 4 unsprung clutch, 6-puck. This thing's absolutely crazy. It's a monster. Like, I'll set this thing down. Like, here, I'll use this. I'll push this all the way through and I'll turn it. Look, this thing does not turn. Thing's crazy. So, alright, let's go back out. Skirt. Outside we are. Alright. First, I'm going to start by removing this pan on the bottom here. I got to remove it in order to take the crankcase apart anyways. So, first, remove this. Once you got that removed, all that is just like a protector. Back there it goes. Then you got your crankshaft. You can see your crankshaft in there. Yeah, that was really pointless to point out. Make sure when you're taking these screws off, none of the screws fall down into the side. There's this little hole that who knows where it goes, but don't let them fall down in there. I mean, you're taking the whole engine apart anyways, but still, you kind of don't want to let that happen. It's a little spooky. Like mine fell down in there, and I got spooked. But anyways, so this is just me. What I always do, I think you can see with the rest of them around here. I take the bolts that I just took out, and I go back in, and I put them in just a little bit. Because I always forget where bolts go. And so far, like with all the engines and stuff that I've taken apart, well, I should say dirt bike motors. This is my first car engine. Dirt bike motors I've taken apart. Okay, hold on. This bolt will not go in. I always remember where my bolts go because I put them back where they belong. Oh, yeah, see? That's a good, you know what? Make sure not to drop. Oh my God, I just dropped it back there. Anyways, I could see it right there. Put your bolts back where they go. Try not to drop them like I just did. Next, as soon as I get that done, we're going to go up top and we're going to talk about what to do next. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think I found out why my engine blew. This is your oil pickup. It sucks oil in through here and it goes up into the engine via oil pump, which is, I'm pretty sure that's what this is right here. I'm not sure. We'll find out though. So, if we remove this bolt right here, which is another bolt I have finger tight in, just remove this bolt. A little bit long of a bolt. This goes in here, There's another bolt right there that it goes to. But it goes up in there, and you want to make sure it's tight because you don't want any oil coming up and just squirting back out in your oil pan, not going up in your engine. Well, yeah, this wasn't even connected. Matter of fact, this was laying down in the oil pan. Both screws weren't in there. I lost a screw. Yes, I lost a screw in my engine somewhere, and I only found one screw that this goes in, which is this one right here. This screw I found. This wasn't picking up oil, therefore my engine was not getting any oil whatsoever. I did overheat the engine once before I blew it, when it was the day before I blew it. Actually the night before. I blew it the next morning. When I blew the engine, or I should say, I'm sorry, I overheated the engine. No radiator fluid was missing, nor was my radiator temperature up. My oil temperature skyrocketed. My radiator temperature did not go up. Either my thermostat did not work, caused this to break, or caused the engine to blow. It overheated. There's a whole bunch of stuff that could have happened, but yeah. So I'm gonna take the rest of this apart. Oh, engine almost fell. And see how it went. But for now, let's throw that back over there. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Next, get this skirt. Next, we are gonna start by taking off. Let's see. Let's take off our water pump. And in order to take off our water pump, we got to take off this pulley, a bolt right here, 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 here. And it looks like that's it. So I'm going to take off this pulley, and I'm going to take off those bolts, and if this thing comes off, I'll let you guys know. Alright, so I haven't removed this yet, but it did break free. You take this pulley off, and there's 2 bolts underneath this pulley. I stuck it back on there just not to lose it. You know how I like doing that. And this whole thing, yeah, just lifts up. Check that out. Alright, so this is your water pump assembly. Set that down nice and easy. And here is where your radiator fluid does its magic, I guess. So, yeah, here's a piece of something that broke. Who knows? Like everything like broke on this engine. Now that that's off, yeah, I don't think you needed to remove that in order to split this crankcase. But, oh yeah, you did, because you have to get to this bolt right here. Okay, so that was, you know, good that I removed that. I am going to take the bolts out of here, stick them back in here, just so I know where they're at. And then I'm going to stick the water pump with the rest of the stuff. So give me... Also, alright, so I removed this pulley. Make sure there's nothing under here. That made the removal of this a little bit easier. Okay, so that comes out. Somehow, we have to remove this. Do I know how it gets removed? No. But I'll find a way, don't worry. Well, with some closer inspection, we realized this thing literally just slips off, so... Oh, almost fell. So yeah, set that to the side. Set that to the side. And next, get that thing out of here. We're gonna remove whatever this thing is. So I'm gonna use 2 hands to remove this, and I'll let you guys know what it is as soon as I'm done. All right, I got it. Got the thing off. I'm pretty sure I knew what it was from the beginning. I just want to make sure. All this is a piece of metal. All this is a oil pump. And so when the crankshaft spins, it spins this bearing in here, which sucks. I'm guessing it sucks it in this way and pushes it out that way. Or yeah, because look. All right, so here's where, yeah, it comes up. It sucks it up through here, and it sucks it up in, and it's gonna go from here, and it sucks it up in there, and it gets shot in here. I'm guessing it goes out throughout the engine where it needs to go. Don't make fun of me. I'm just guessing, but what is cool about this is on the bottom there are 2 screws here. I think you can install an external oil cooler, and if that's the case, I really want to do it because that sounds sick, and that's cool that they include that feature on these engines. So I'm going to set this with my water pump, oil pump, water pump. I'm going to set my stuff back on, like this thing on this crankshaft. Set that back on. Put that in there. This pulley gets put on right here. See, stuff like this. I want to make sure that this stuff gets put back. Just to make sure we don't lose anything. So, okay. I'm going to look on what to do next. I'm going to look around the engine, see what there is to do next. Pretty sure we're ready to start splitting the crankcase apart. I'm not too sure, but we'll find out. So, here goes nothing. Turn down my Pandora so I don't get copyrighted. Huh. Anyways, what we can do next is split the crankcase. There are bolts inside. Jeez. There are bolts. Let's see. I'll tell you where all the bolts. Well, not all of them, because I don't know if there's any secret ones. But there's bolts along here. There's a bolt right there at the tip of your flywheel. There is a bolt right here. There is. I don't see any more up there. There's a bolt right in here and in here. Same with the bottom. There's 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here. There's a bolt right there, a bolt right here. Oh dear. Oh. Same thing on this side. 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here. I think there's one I can't feel down there. I don't know if there's any down there, but I'm gonna pull all those bolts that I saw, and see if I can maybe like wiggle the crankcase apart. I haven't found any areas like that let you do that. Like sometimes there's little slits in here. So I may just throw it across the room, see if it cracks in half, but who knows. Anyways, I'm gonna start taking it apart now. Alright, so now I got all the bolts undone. At least I think all the bolts. You want to get yourself a nice piece of wood. And what I'm going to do is set it on like one side of the engine, hit it from the other, and then just go around tapping it all, and slowly it'll come apart. Maybe there's some bolts that I'm missing or that I don't know that are there or something like that, but yeah, I'm going to try and split the crankcase. We're going to see how this goes, so wish me luck. So as I'm literally mangling the engine, like I mangled it all the way from over there, from over here, trying to get this stupid thing to split in half. I missed one bolt. It's right here. There's another bolt underneath here that's literally sitting here, and it goes in that way. So you got to remove this, and whoop-de-doo, we got to remove the flywheel. I literally don't know how I'm going to do it, except for cutting the one bolt, and I still think I'm going to cut the one bolt. And, yeah, I'll worry about it later, but so I'm going to get that off. I'm going to get those 2 bolts done, and there's one bolt underneath this flywheel. Excuse me. So I'm going to get those 2 off. Alright, flywheel's off. I got it off using this right here. It's one of these, or is it the Irwin strip nut bolt set. It's extremely helpful. Literally, this thing saved my butt so many times. I think this is the only thing I actually put stuff back in its box for once. Anyways, there was a bolt right here. I'm heating it up, and I'm going to take it off with a little socket wrench. And, yeah, I don't see any other bolts, so. But, yeah, so we're going to split it there. Shout out to Carrie's Holman. He did the Subaru STI short block assembly. This video actually helped me find the 3 screws that were here, the one back here, and also this water jacket. This is a water jacket that goes across here. There's an O-ring, and all this screw does is make sure this stays together, but this screw also holds the crankshafts together. So this is the last screw that I found. It is a size 8. I got a size 8 around here somewhere, but I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to try and split the crankcases again. I'm sorry, I think I said size 8. It's actually a size 10. And I'm just using this wrench here. Slowly but surely it's coming out, but I'm going to try and split the crankcase now. So, it's a few days later, and I'm not sure if what I said in the last segment, but you can't split the cases without taking the pistons out, so just remove this little cover right here. Don't ignore that bolt. Remove this cover. There's going to be a little pin in here, like a wrist pin, and pull that, or not the pin, but it's just this little clamp, and you close the clamp, pull it out, make sure it doesn't drop down your engine, especially when rebuilding, and then just pull out this wrist pin that's in here, and in order to get it out, I'm going to open up the other side, stick something through there, and just tap it with the hammer all the way out. So, if you're wondering how to remove the wrist pins inside the pistons, these things right here, like I said, get both of the sides undone. What you're going to do, move this side. Let's say this wrist pin was still in. Alright, we'll just leave it right there. Grab a long piece of steel. The size can vary. Just make sure, like if you had a piece of steel about that was like this, a cylinder like this and this long, then that'd work perfectly fine. I'm using this, whatever this is. And then, anyways, you're going to slide it. You're going to take the crank, like this crank, and move it so this connecting rod is over a little bit, and you're going to stick it through past this connecting rod right on to the wrist pin, and you're just going to tap it out from this side. Tap it out, and then do the same with this one, do the same from this side. And alright, so yeah, the video died and I was too lazy to go. Oh, I'm sorry, my storage got full and I was too lazy to go swap it. So we took the entire thing apart, found the issue with the engine. My crankcase was a little bit messed up. My crankshaft is actually perfectly fine. Here are my rods. What happened was, inside these rods there are these bearings that fit in here, so when it rotates around here, you know, it doesn't get too messed up. Well, one of the rods completely disintegrated off one of the disintegrated the bearing, and it was this one. I don't know if you could tell the difference, but see how this is has a straight edge. This one has more of a rounded edge. The inside of this one is completely jacked up compared to the inside of these, which is still perfectly fine. So these three rods are perfectly fine. I hate to say it, but this rod is just, it's trash. So I'm gonna get a new rod. Actually, there's bearings up in there too. I never noticed that. But yeah, that rod's messed up. Crank's alright. We're actually cleaning out the engine right now. Show you the damage. I think it's this one. Yeah, look at that. The rod completely destroyed there. It started to do it right there a little bit. And that one's alright, but yeah, it's pretty messed up. So I'm gonna order the stuff to fix it. Is there, oh yeah, there's bearings in here. I gotta get these bearings out, but we're gonna order the stuff to fix it and then start putting them back together. So we'll start making the videos on this whole thing getting put back together. That'll be fun. It'll probably be in a week. So alright, check you guys in the next video.